We're having a crazy day, so we're going to learn together, as they say. Okay, we're going to start from Siman Shin Chav Ches, and I believe we got up to skip. Hey, last time the Mechaber. So let's get started. Maka Sheyesh Shel Choleh, a wound that is not in the cavity of the body. Nesholim bebaki uvachoy. We ask the expert as well as the sick person. The aim machala, then we just started Shin Chav Ches. Hey, all right. Yeah, you all there? Daniel, Moshe, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Hi, Rabbi.
Gimel and Daled last week because I think you cut out. So
yeah, last class that we missed, the last part of the class. I don't know what we missed.
Yeah. You know what? I meant to record that, and I just forgot about it. So where did we cut out? Do you remember?
Oi,
yeah, I cut out. We did Aleph and Beis, but we cut out Gimel.
I thought we did Gimel.
I'm sorry?
I thought we did Gimel also, but okay.
No, we did not do Gimel.
We didn't do? Okay.
No.
In the Alter Rebbe or the?
Alter Rebbe.
Alter Rebbe.
No. We didn't do Gimel or Daled.
I'm doing the Mechaber now. I'll go back to Gimel and Daled and Alter Rebbe.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
No problem. So we're going to start with Daled and the Mechaber. Maka Shel Choleh ein tzrich oyed. An internal wound does not have to be estimated. Even if there are no experts there, we do for him anything that would be usual to do in the weekday. We need to say because it's an internal wound, we assume it's dangerous. If, however, they know and recognize that that illness is mamtin means that it's slow moving. That doesn't mean it's not dangerous. Could be it is dangerous, but it's slow moving. You know, cancer is obviously a deadly illness, but it could take years for a person to be taken by it. So that doesn't mean that you have to be Machal Shabbos for the treatment, because it's slow moving. And it's a chilul, and it does not need to be shit, right? So if you're sure that it's like that, so then you delay it. Also, in that case, it is forbidden to desecrate, even if it is an internal wound or any other wound that is theoretically a mortal wound. But if you know that it's slow moving and that there is no rush, and that delaying it will not put him at any greater risk, then there is no need to desecrate Shabbos, and it's not proper in fact. Hey, if it's not an internal wound, but we're not sure about it, we fear that maybe it is something that could be life-threatening. We ask an expert, if there is one, and we ask the sick person himself. If the expert or the person himself says that they need it, then we trust them. Either that it is one that they say needs chilul, or if they recognize that it is sakana nefashos. Excuse me, suffix sakana nefashos, the Mishnah Berurah adds. It doesn't have to be that they say for sure, even if they're not sure. If the expert says, you know what, I'm not sure, it may be a situation that's life-threatening, maybe not. In case of a doubt, we do desecrate. Same thing with the person himself. Right. If he says for sure, then you don't do. Then you don't do. Correct. A wound is in the back of the hand or the back of the foot. A person who swallowed a leech. A person who was bitten by a rabid dog. The Yechem Ezechel Yefram Misim are one of the other crawling, dangerous animals like a snake, scorpion, even some, smaller animals can be dangerous. If you're not sure if they're deadly or not, they are like a makashachol. Father of a woman I know was going on one of these, safari type of trips, South America. Stepped out of a boat, a little canoe that they're using to cross a river. Stepped onto an anthill with poisonous ants, and a swarm of ants ran up his leg and bit him, and he literally died. Yeah. I mean, can't blame the ants because they did what they do. And I hate to say it. I mean, not hate to say it. You can never blame Hashem. You can't blame Hashem. You can never blame Hashem anyway. But I'm saying if a person goes into these places, another, yeah, that can happen. I didn't hear about Australia. Australia doesn't have so many dangerous animals, actually. There's no big, insects are insects. I don't know about them. But there is no large, dangerous animal. Most dangerous large animal is a dingo, which is a wild dog. All of their animals are pretty peaceful, kangaroos. I mean, they can get wild, but they don't normally kick people. But,
those are the dingoes, right?
The dingoes, that's it. I was at the Shabbos table once with a widow of a person who took a safari in South Africa. We go to these national parks and you hang out with the lions. And he got out of his tent in the middle of the night and a lion attacked him. That was the end. So that has nothing to do with learning, but just a warning to be careful with your vacations. Some exotic vacations are too exotic. But anyway, yeah. So the point is that even if it's a situation that we're not sure is dangerous or not, you should treat them like an internal wound, and they should be treated like a life-threatening illness. Now, the thing about Gav Hayad and Gav Haregel is not so clear. What is so dangerous about the wound on the back of the hand or the back of the foot? I'm saying the top of the foot is what it means. So the Shmer Shabbos Kol Chosei suggests that it has to do with the fact that there are veins close to the surface, and an infection there could spread quickly in the bloodstream. So that being said, we don't really treat wounds in those places nowadays with any more severity than wounds in other parts of the body. So it would seem that if during the week you don't treat an illness with seriousness, and you don't run to the emergency room, so on Shabbos you certainly shouldn't desecrate. Okay, Zion. We're doing the Mechaber on Shin Chav Ches Zion, Mechaber. Machal and Shabbos al kol makshamas machmas barzel. We desecrate the Shabbos for any wound that is made as a result of metal, considering that metal can cause an infection. And in those days, before they had antibiotics and so on and so forth, I didn't start it last week. We started it. I think you meant this. We started Shin Chav Ches. Yeah, we started Shin Chav Ches. We did that. We started out there also. Yeah. So. Yeah, for sure. I said what there. Design. So yeah, bullet. I mean, anything that can cause an infection. Infection can spread. In those days, before they knew how to treat infections, that infection in the tip of a finger could kill a person, literally. So nowadays we don't, we're not holding by that. We have medications that can cure infections. Tetanus, exactly. But if a person did not have a tetanus shot and he gets a wound from some rusty nail or something, that could literally take his life. So that if there is such a thing and it's already developing, I think if you see red lines going up to the wound, that's something that has to be taken care of immediately. Yeah. So that would apply also. Or if it's a deep wound as well. The deep wound, the blood is gushing. That's also maka. That's dangerous. Ashchin haba b'fiyat abas, on an abscess that is found in the piyat abas, in the anus, that is considered dangerous. I don't know why. Actually, in the notes, he says that some say it is hemorrhoids. Some say it is hemorrhoids. I don't know what's so dangerous about them. They're pretty painful, as I can say from experience. But that's all. And they don't seem to be dangerous. But maybe if they're bleeding, maybe it could be. Yeah, it could be. So some say it means hemorrhoids.
Yeah, no, you can get infections down there also, and that can cause abscesses. It is possible.
I see.
There's something called a fistula, and a fistula
Right.
is, yeah.
Right. That sounds familiar. I think I've heard of that. So these are all dangerous. Simta, flunkurblaz. This is what is called a furuncle, even in English. It sounds like a Yiddish word, but I think in Spanish also. No, how do they say it in Spanish? Furuncle? Such a word? Furuncle. It means it's like a blister.
This is the first time I hear that word.
No, it's
Not even in Spanish.
an English word. I know it's a Spanish word, but it's an English word. See if I can find it. Shin Zayin in the Machaber. A boil, also called a furuncle, is a deep folliculitis infection of the hair follicle. It is most commonly caused by infection by the bacterium Staphylococcus, resulting in a painful swollen area in the skin caused by the combination of pus and dead tissue. It's like a boil, basically. But again, if it's not treated, it could be dangerous. A person with an extremely high temperature, or one that involves shivering.
Because of the fever or because you're cold?
No, because of the fever. He describes it in the Mishnah Berurah. He has heat, but he's shivering at the same time. I don't know what the medical term for that is.
He has heat and he's shivering?
Yeah.
Shivering because it's cold. So he's shivering because it's too much for the body to handle and he's shaking? Is the word shivering or the word shake?
Shviderin. Smarmoret. What's smarmoret? Okay. Misha Chosedam. I don't know how to find this because he actually says it's common for people to see what sugar. So I don't know what exactly. Yeah, it is common. So I don't know why what exactly is different about this fever and shivering at once. That indicates that it's dangerous. Let's see if Shmuel Shabbos explains it.
That's nice.
That means convulsions, not just regular
The
shiver.
body is shaky. Not because of the cold.
Yeah, but convulsions can be a serious thing.
What's what I'm saying?
All of these things are considered sakana.
What's a lula? When you swallow the lula?
Haluka, the leech.
What is Zohar?
The first crawling animal like a snake or scorpion. Something that crawls on the ground. So he in the Shmer Shabbos, he says either a very high fever, which the cause of which is not yet known, or what's called a low-grade fever. That's a result of an internal infection. That's also considered dangerous. No, until low-grade fever, you can know.
That's caused by.
Yeah, you could know. You could know. A person went, what do you mean? He got one to the hospital on his nose.
Let's say you got on Shabbos.
Saying if you don't know, you don't know. But in general, Shabbos is giving you rules. A low-grade fever that's caused by internal infection is a Choleh Sheyesh sakana.
This type of person has any regular food.
No, didn't say that. Didn't say that. Because you wouldn't rush to the hospital during the week if you had a low-grade fever.
You're saying
There is such a thing as a low-grade fever that is caused by internal infection, which a person might have from different causes, and if he knows that that's what he has, then he should know that is a Choleh Sheyesh sakana.
He knows it's a Choleh Sheyesh. Once he gets to be there, it won't cause it more than what's caused by them. So I think.
You say it again.
As an asking, again, it's allowed to.
If he has a low-grade fever caused by internal infection, that is a Choleh Sheyesh sakana.
The suffix, he has a little bit fever. He's in a suffix.
A regular low-grade fever is nothing. It's nothing to worry about. Low-grade fever that is a result of an underlying condition, which he knows that he has, that is a
Stam, we say.
Stam, if a person has a.
Sure,
That's, there's no reason to assume it. You don't, I'm saying, as a general rule, anything you don't rush to the hospital for during the week, you can't do the Chol Shabbos. A person who has a 100 fever wouldn't rush to the hospital during the week. He would take off. Maybe he would take off work, maybe not. He's not going to rush to the hospital. A person who has a condition accompanied by the fever, that's what he's talking about. Okay. Misha Chazadan, we're just learning a few sifrim before we go over to the. We were on Zion, yeah.
What's Barzil means?
Metal.
I understand. I'm saying the Chashash is headless.
Yeah. So it seems, yeah, either tetanus or if it's a deep wound. If it's a superficial wound and it's a clean metal, so they say nowadays it's not a sakana. Tetanus is caused by rusty metal. But so if it's a wound from a rusty piece of metal, it's considered sakana if it's even a superficial, unless you have a tetanus shot, of course. But if it's a wound caused by a clean piece of metal and it's not deep, then it's not considered sakana. Right? It's only either a deep wound, then it's sakana anyway.
So what's a hybrid fever?
שטף דם עורקי או ורידי, להעביר מדליפה ורידית איטית. If there is a puncture to a vein or an artery, that's how he translates it. He's an auditor, it wasn't just from that vein or artery itself. Sorry, Petza Amok, no, excuse me. A deep wound he lists separately. A deep wound caused by a knife or any other metal caving. He doesn't say exactly how deep. It's just a short one. Yeah, I don't know exactly how deep.
See the end Sugar writes on in Seymour, which is with the
Yep.
shaking. I'm not gonna lie, and you look at how
Right. Yeah, because it's a Choleh Sheyesh, but it's a sakana.
to be able to get a car, it's perfectly fine to get a car. If someone has a high fever and doesn't know whether it's I think I understood how did everyone understand the Choleh Sheyesh? It's usually cold and then you get that on. But it's both of them together.
Yeah.
So the person that had a fever and wants to go get treated on Shabbos, maybe by myself, but let's say for sure you drive it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You go past, let's say, going have or
Yeah. Sure. Any Choleh Sheyesh in basakon. Anybody who is ill to the extent that he is bedridden, how to go do anything.
any Malach of the Isa?
Yeah. I
I
mentioned it, yes, I mentioned last week. That was like part of the intro. Are you here? Yeah, that was part of the intro. Mishach Zedam, a person who was seized by blood, which in the Alter Rebbe, the translator suggests that it's either high blood pressure or low blood pressure. It sounds more like high blood pressure, swelling with blood. So in the olden days, they used to treat that by bloodletting. Too much blood. You can give him a bloodletting session, even if he's still walking around. Even if it's the first day of his illness, you don't have to wait for it to get worse.
This is in Shabbos too. I mean, in Shabbos you can do that, bloodletting?
Yeah. For a person that's considered dangerously ill. For this condition, achazay dam, which he translates as high blood pressure, I don't know.
The first step will be to measure.
If you're not sure if he's in danger, you can find out. Yeah. That he quotes the Chut Shon, which I believe is Nissan Karelitz, who says that. Very high or very low blood pressure. I definitely wouldn't let blood of a person with high blood pressure, but that's what he says, yeah.
That's why is he saying it's very low?
I don't know. The swelling, yeah, the swelling sounds like high.
Where's the swelling word?
Isha Achazedam. He translates it as a swelling of blood. He's gripped by blood, like too much blood. Sounds like the blood is pumping, you know what I'm saying? That's what it sounds like.
Could it mean like a hemorrhaging or something like that?
I mean, that's certainly sakana nefashos, but I don't know if he means that. I don't think he would let more blood if it's already hemorrhaging. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not natural when it's going out, but we figure out sort of stuff.
It's a swelling of blood under the skin.
I don't know.
Skin, that's
I don't know. Okay, let's do one more in the Mechaber. Choleh Sheyesh b'tzir. Choleh Sheyesh suspended the moist mouth as a cave, Choleh Sheyesh down. Choleh Sheyesh tchilas uchla. Tchilas Choleh Machal and the Shabbos. So, Umar says that the Amsa the Bey Rebbe, there was a maidservant in the house of Rebbe who was screaming in pain because she had an eye ache. And nobody paid attention to her. They said it was Shabbos, and they didn't treat her because they didn't feel that it was sakana nefashos. Not yet. No. Shivcha Kananis. You could be Machal Shabbos with them, they're considered Jewish. But they didn't because they didn't think it was sakana nefashos. But in fact, it says that her eyes popped out, like literally her eyeball popped out, and she died. And they said after that Shuraina Deliva, Shuraina De'ena Deliva Talia. There's a connection between the eyes and the heart, and that a illness in the eyes could cause death. And therefore, we have this following halacha. No one wants an email. I believe I already sent it in, but I will send it again. Oh, please.
I don't know about this one. Based on the what's the current knowledge and medicine that
Yeah.
And that's proven to be
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's proven because I'd rather say it changed. Yeah, changed. It's no longer the way it was in Kamazan. Let's say it that way.
I'm talking about the medical part.
Absolutely has an effect on halacha, no question about it. Anything that used to be dangerous then but is not dangerous now, we're not machal. If you have a wound in the back of your hand, we don't have to rush to the hospital. If we see that it's an infection that's reached the blood vessels, yeah, okay, then yes. But otherwise not. And yeah, actually, no, I'm just remembering. I saw them discussing it here, that perhaps the eye, perhaps the eye infections are no longer considered dangerous for the whole body. But some say that, yeah, they are. Zal said that it is, and it is.
It's hard.
Sorry?
It's hard.
Some could be, yeah. I mean, the eye is obviously open to the whole body, so infection there, but just not. Right. In general, we do go by the modern medicine. In general. Right. Correct. Both in one way and in the other way. Both what they say now is dangerous, even if they didn't used to believe it was dangerous, you would be machal. And if they say now it's definitely not dangerous, so then it would not be.
If somebody has stitches or ear or foot,
It depends if it's a deep cut. And
it's open wound. Doesn't have to be a repeat. Don't have very much to know.
if it's not bleeding a lot, just no stitches. It needs stitches to close. And without the stitches, it'll make a big scar and it won't be nice. What's going to happen? You know what I'm saying? Eventually it'll heal. That's not something to be.
Your hands feel pretty well. All your left hand is on the body. better heals us compared to all of that. Quicker heals. Okay. So I know that when you get a bad cut here, usually going to bleed. And I don't care how much you hold on to it, it's not going to keep popping open. So usually you have to have some kind of stitches or some medical.
I understand, but there's no danger to life.
So that's the kind of feeling.
Sakanas Ever, you could be Machalo even by Yid, but only dry bones.
That's the kind of you can call them.
Yeah.
They can figure it out for themselves.
Yeah.
Could get it out. You just can't do it.
Yeah. Well, that, I don't know, that blood might be excessive. That might be something to do yourself. I don't know.
Just have to stitches and that. So you can get it some cream
So what's the question? How do you dress the wound?
Well, you have to change standards or dressings or whatever.
certain wounds. If you wait too long, you can't set that up because the way it starts healing. And therefore, if you talk about scarring, you're going to have to start to heal properly. Or the opener.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, a scar is not a halacha.
Clean it and take out the bandage or the dressing with the cream to the bag and then make it.
You can do that yourself.
So when you do a shot,
Well, I mean, some of those might be Nisidarais. I'm saying smearing on the cream could be Nisidarais. Could be Nisidarais. Sorry.
You can just put it on a tube on top.
Right.
I think what you do is you take the bandage and you put the cream on the bandage. And once you're there, you put it on.
Is that not smear?
Well, again, without smearing it, just
No, I'm saying, if
directly
I
on.
put the cream on the bandage, I put it down.
Of course.
No?
Smearing is smearing. Just putting it down and that's not smearing.
Why can't I do it like that?
Without smearing it, just putting it.
Easy.
Yeah. So,
Even if it smushes on the look, smearing is when I.
Yeah.
It even has room for babies, things like that.
Yeah.
You can place.
Yeah.
You just can't.
can't rub it in.
All the cases that get flushes, a little cloth or but if a person knows in advance that what they do is suffering from something going on from during the week, not likely to get it on Friday also.
Every person what?
Let's say a person suffering from wine.
Yeah, what about it? Yeah.
So we already have these regular special skills that we want to take. Well, somebody is diabetic.
Sorry, migraine is considered a Choleh Sheyesh sakana. It's a very serious headache. It's debilitating. The person can't really function properly with it. And a Choleh Sheyesh sakana is allowed to take medication. So that's for that. So that's blood pressure is definitely super dangerous. Arthritis is not dangerous. Blood pressure is dangerous. Uncomfortable, yes. Arthritis is not-
A broken, I don't know if we mentioned this or maybe I forgot, a broken arm or a broken leg. I mean, it's not a sakana, but
it's a dangerous break. It's not a danger to life.
What you cannot say that if the person has it ready before Shabbos, if the person has pain, I'm using this. So it's already mukha before Shabbos.
But then it's to take medication because you might make it. The fact that you made it for Shabbos, can't take it because you might make it. Like over there, so Chazal. But I'm not exact.
Some people can do like food company.
Sorry?
I'm looking at the food.
What? Like what?
Some herbs that might be.
If it is considered a food, if normal people eat it as a food,
Let's say,
not as a medication, then you can take it. But if it's not taken by normal people as a food, then you can't take it. Vaishnav Feinstein says that vitamins that are supplementing any deficiency in your diet is considered food. But vitamins that are to strengthen your body, but are not to make up for things that you're not eating, extra things that are beyond what you would have in a regular diet, to give you, I don't know, steroids or something. Just kidding. Something extra, that he says is medicine.
So somebody have to talking up the vitamin C. It's good cannot take off this vitamin C.
Not Pasha. I mean, a lot of healthy people take vitamin C. A lot of healthy people take vitamin C.
I think have the origin to vitamin C.
Yeah.
Anyone has a couple oranges and sugar.
Yeah.
Folic acid or whatever.
Yeah.
People take people can those are natural, that's very novel. They take on a daily basis medication, take them that off. Take it on Shabbos.
That's an interesting Shaila.
What kind of medicine?
Prozac. It's called Prozac. And many other variations thereof.
According to his
It's a good question, actually, because people that need it to keep them, calm, without it, their Shabbos might be a difficult Shabbos. Difficult question to answer. I don't know. Yeah.
Rabbi?
Ritalin. Kids take Ritalin. I don't know. It's a good question. Yes.
I know sometimes it's like, it could be as a kind of nefashis, but I see sometimes people use the inhalers for the asthma or whatnot. It could be a level of refuah when it comes to certain things, even though it's not the kind of nefashis. I mean, it's still important, but would it be considered a refuah issue?
I would say that's a sakana nefashos.
Yeah.
If they have like a coughing attack, sometimes they see them use it. Like a friend of mine.
Yeah, I think in general it is. Breathing is kind of something important. Even if they're not having an attack mamish, but I think keeping the airways open it's to prevent a sakana.
Okay. Thank you, Rebbe.
Asthma go away in some sort of way? I haven't seen anyone asthma. Treatment in the place. Then when I was in high school, I was in elementary school.
Yeah.
Who's the neighborhood?
That also could be.
Environmental.
I think a person who needs sleeping pills is allowed to take it. I remember reading that. Because a person that is a chodesh sakana could be allowed to take medication, and a person who can't sleep will definitely become a chodesh sakana. Lack of sleep is like a huge issue that makes a person unable to function properly. So therefore, to prevent a person from having that lack of sleep, then that's that. Enough to die. Chodesh sakana doesn't have to die. He has to not be able to function properly. To prevent yourself from a situation which would cause you not to be able to function properly, you're allowed to take medication.
and the physician already before problem, it was before, and we just wait for 7 days or 10 days, to allow the patient to get in start. Correct?
That's a common teaching that has been repeated many times.
So why based on if there are a lot of somebody has different conditions before, so you know that this is not high enough, and having the first doesn't check that you have this kind of pain or uncomfortable, on top it's already have something to have to do.
I understand your question.
If we allow to take antibiotics on top, so they already using it before. Okay? So why?
It's not a simple Allah. And if you use it before, you can take it. Everybody says that, but it's not clear where that comes from. Moshe says that what it is that if it's the kind of medicine that you have to take a course that's 7 days or longer, and if you don't take it every day, you'll never get rid of the illness. So then you can take it because even a small illness, if you never get rid of it, it becomes like consuming. To have a small illness forever is basically like as bad as a real. You know what I'm saying? But that's only if it's a 7-day thing, and if you miss one day, the course won't happen. But some are. I'm saying let's say it's a 5-day course. According to Moshe, if it's not a Choleh Sheyesh sakana, or sorry, she'ein bo sakana. Choleh Sheyesh bo sakana, you could take it even if you didn't start before Shabbos. Choleh Sheyesh bo sakana is allowed to take medication. Choleh that is not defined as Choleh Sheyesh bo sakana. You didn't say you can function.
Usually some people are Choleh Sheyesh.
I'm just saying.
Why do you think it works? The Choleh Sheyesh. This type of Choleh.
Choleh Sheyesh bo sakana means a person who is bedridden or who cannot function normally. That's the definition of Choleh Sheyesh bo sakana. If they have that definition, then they can even start a course in Shabbos. If they don't have that definition, it's not simple to allow them to continue on Shabbos, unless it's on Sunday, unless it's something that has to be taken 7 days. Then the Moshe says it. Otherwise, it's not so clear that this thing that start before Shabbos, you can take on Shabbos. It's not clear where that comes from. I know. It's one of those things, like giving Shalach Manos with 2 separate brachas. No, I'm serious. It's not clear where it came from. Yeah, that's for sure. This, I mean, the person do try to find the explanation for it, but it's still not clear what the explanation is. This one?
Yeah.
No, this one is not, because they do try to explain it. I don't know what this is. I would say it was just an article.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Correct. If it once a day, if it's right before Shabbos, right after Shabbos, on Saturday, then you don't miss a day.
No, but some of them, yeah, the ones that you have to take twice or 3 times a day, it's not so simple. Depends, yeah, if it's once a day, you can time it that way.
What if it's something that can cause? But it's a matter that you can cause something worse.
So in general, anything that prevents a Choleh Sheyesh bo sakana is considered the same. And just like Choleh Sheyesh bo sakana, the same thing.
A lot of these medications are, if you skip it, people forget all the time. Just because they forget to take a dose. It even says on there, if you miss this dose, do not double up next time. Just take it as soon as you remember, or just get back on schedule.
Right.
You don't purpose it. That stuff. That's too good.
But for illnesses like diabetes, high blood pressure, glaucoma, all these kind of things, you do it every day, you keep doing it every day.
Right. Anything that is serious, you can do it every day. You can do it just because it's serious illness. In general, kids' medical needs or even their nutritional needs are considered automatically like the Choleh Sheyesh bo sakana because kids are more fragile. So even a minor need is considered like a important need. It's not a sakana need, you can't do it deraisa, but you can do it rabbanan, you can ask the road to do it deraisa.
But for mixed trabajos, no le voy a poner en espacios.
Very much delicious.
You have to be British, so probably can be more in. No.
So Ben Hashmashas, you have the heter of doing any shvus for great need. So any derabanan. So in medicine derabanan, you have a great need. I mean, if you have a great need, it's qualifications for them anyway. But there's certainly more room for leniency in Ben Hashmashas if it's a shvus. Yom Tov Al Rebbe says the halacha not taking medication does apply, but not on the second day of Yom Tov. Make on the second day, not the first day. So you'll ask, you're allowed to grind. Not to push, you're allowed to grind. Not grinding. You cannot grind on Yom Tov. Grinding is something that is Lilisha ve'elach. No, you have to grind before Yom Tov. Lilisha ve'elach. You can knead on Yom Tov. From kneading and on is considered melachas. Anything before that, like picking in the field and selecting it and threshing it and grinding it, those are things you can do before Yom Tov without any loss of taste. I mean, there's different reasons for it, but you might say not how to grind on Yom Tov. Grinding on Yom Tov. You grind spices with the shit. Spice, even on Shabbos. But not flour. Can't do
I think it's all let's say medicine. A lot of things from birds. Whatever
I'm saying generally grinding is not allowed on Yom Tov, even with the sheep. All the melachas before Elisha are not allowed in the sheep. Things that are usually. Oh, what? Medication? Spices? I don't know what spices are. Spices are spices. Medication or medication. Why are you saying it's the same thing? I don't know. What's that? Spices for your food. Like to flavor your food.
If it's not flavored, it's to like thing also drawing some similarly with
you don't need it in a central way, you're going to feel it. It's for medication, but you add it into your food and really.
It's not clear that it's not clear that it's the same. Not clear it's the same. Besides the fact that it's not meleches kol nefesh. Mutar on Yom Tov is only what's tzarech kol nefesh. The needs of an average person. What is not the needs of an average person is not mutar. The fact that you need it because you're sick, okay. Well, if you're very sick, you have to do Shabbos.
So, that's not what you do, but that's it.
Can you explain that?
Either I will have to what to do.
I told you, not a lot of chop. Not a lot of chop.
they won't do it.
You're not allowed to chop on Yom Tov. Chopping is not one of them. Salad you're allowed to make.
Small, this
Salad you're allowed to
green special herb.
Salad you're allowed to make, but you're not allowed.
You cannot add this one to the salad, but it's very small.
If you're making a salad out of it, you can eat that.
You cannot add this to your salad.
You can add it to your salad, yeah, yes.
Yeah, you have to take it. It won't do anything. Maybe.
I'm not doing flat.
So won't do
next week.
No, also you're not. Why would you be able to run? It's fast.
So you can run this one.
I want to chop it a little bit.
So you can run it. If you make a salad, you can make a salad like any other leaf.
Oh, but not small.
No, right, a salad you can make small onion.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. So, achoshish be'enav, tes. Achoshish be'enav yesh bo yitzir. The person who has an eye ache, both are one eye, and he has tzir coming out. If you translate tzir. Fluid.
What is this first part here where it says be'enav o be'enayo, and there's both eyes or one eye?
Plural or singular. Whether one or both eyes.
Oh, okay.
Or if his eyes were in so much pain that tears were coming out. Blood was coming out. Or if pus was coming out. In all of these cases, if it was the beginning of the illness, the Chalon of Shabbos, you can desecrate the Shabbos. Meaning to say, if it's at the end of these illnesses and it's almost healed, eye aches, we're talking about these different eye ailments, you cannot desecrate. You guys not dangerous. No.
Just something out of it.
It's not dangerous. It's an infection. You have to deal with it or something.
Sure.
Yeah, water. Salt water. Nice.
What is this word techilas ochla? What does that mean?
So techilas ochla means the beginning of the illness. Ochla literally means food, but in this case it means like the
it says techilas ochla.
yeah. Ochla is like something that consumes, like the consumption, but it's an expression for an illness.
Eye drops.
Yeah, eye drops for an eye infection. Yeah.
What did I drop? Red eyes when you vision is dire and
Dry.
oh, some people have dry eyes.
Tears. I wonder if that's considered a medication, because that's really just to restore. Yeah, just to. I'm saying it's just to replace the tears. The body's not producing tears, so you're replenishing. It's kind of like what Moshe says about vitamins that you're missing, nourishment in your diet. That's what I'm wondering. As far as another eye infection, if it's an infection that can affect the eye and affect the vision, it's sakana hair, you can certainly take drops for it. Let me see. Sorry? Yeah. Yeah.
How do you try to follow line?
So a missing correlate says a serious eye infection is considered sakana nefashos, and you can mechal Shabbos. However, if it's not a serious infection, then he does allow medication for it, but not the mechal Shabbos. If the doctors eye infection, if the doctors say that his eyes he might go blind, but he will not affect his life. So the Shevach Levi says you cannot be machal Shabbos. I'm saying he won't die. He won't die. It'll affect his life, but he won't die. Can't be machal Shabbos. We'll have to rise.
Meaning you know that being, let's say, even if you know you're doing Machal Shabbos will save your sight, you're still alive, you still can't go.
Yeah. Very strong.
That's like the biggest insight.
Well, no, but you can do it with the shinoi. Sakana say you can do it with the shinoi. He says you can take medicine for eye infection. You take medicine. Yeah. Because it's a sakana zayma. The eye could go bad. Friend of mine got.
There are things that can happen to the eye that it won't kill you, but yet you could lose your eyesight. So I guess that would be you could be Mechalel Shabbos on that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You could be Mechalel. You can't be Mechalel Shabbos with their eyes. Mechalel Shabbos with their abanim, or you can do it with the shinoi. So eyes.
Oh, if in that case, I mean, like a detached retina, for example. I mean,
Detached retina, exactly. So that's an example. A person could literally go blind. Detached retina.
So you could be that.
You can do a deraisa with a shinoi. The retina is the wallpaper at the back of the eye. The back of the eye. The back of the socket of the eye, of the ball of the eye. There's like a wallpaper around the back of it. And you know how sometimes there's like liquid that could get under the wallpaper and the wallpaper starts to bubble up. Never happens. So that's called retinal detachment. And that can literally cause blindness. My friend was driving the freeway when he realized that he was something wrong with his eye, started bleeding or whatever. He got himself to the emergency room, he drove himself. They took him by emergency to the Boston Palmer. And they said if he would have gotten there a few hours later, I would have been gone. Even as it is, he's still healing, but it's not 100% that's going to come back. But hopefully, yes.
It's like you can have other problems under the revenue can have fluid. So what happens then is, one that I got from somebody recently, it's like a movie screen. It's usually flat. But if you have fluid underneath it, it's like ripples. So that when you a straight line now goes like this.
Wow.
So if you don't take care of that, you'll go blind. Wow. That's just the beginning.
Interesting. Yeah, there's a lot to have kavanah for when you say pakeh in the morning.
It's a quick story.
Yeah.
Right. Michael Citron.
Yes, I do.
Right. So December 23rd he was helping his father take out a microwave. He was using a screwdriver to take out the pouch. He doesn't know how it happened. Tried to take it out, forcibly get out the microwave. Screwdriver blew in his eye, in the middle of his eye, went 5 inches deep. In panic, he pulled it out with a screwdriver.
That's a pretty.
And he was blood was coming out. He went blind in both eyes and he couldn't see anything. He was on the floor. He said, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. He was just screaming Baruch Hashem. His father picked him up, threw him in the car, drove him to the hospital. They did emergency surgery on Hashem. They got, I'll tell you what happened in the meantime, but Hashem had been blind. The nurses, and it was a half, less than a millimeter away from brain damage. And the nurses said we've never seen anything like this. He kept saying in the hospital every time they said something, Baruch Hashem. So they said, whatever Baruch Hashem you believe in, we also believe in. Wow. Unbelievable. Wow. More than 5 inches of screwdriver.
That is crazy.
12-inch screwdriver.
Wow. That is crazy.
He said, I'd say
Not for me.
Okay. My friends, we're going to go back to Siv Gimel and Alter Rebbe.
He blacked out. It could be just blacked out. I don't know if you have one.
כל מה כשחול, דהיינו בעבר הפנימי, מהשינה ולפנים, ישנה מעשה בכלל, ומחר לא נעשה שבס. We're over in the Alter Rebbe, Siv Gimel. Any internal wound, which is defined as the internal organs, from the teeth and inwards, yeshna matzah b'chlal, including the teeth, but we're going to see it means an infection in the teeth and not just a pain. Machal is a Shabbos, you can just get the Shabbos. We're talking about a wound or a bur, which is a blister, like an infection. If it's just a pain without a specific wound, that is not called a makale. You can be machal, if you don't call the way, he's in great pain. So a person who has a stomach ache can't be machal Shabbos. We were discussing last time appendicitis. If he has the symptoms of appendicitis, then yes, because that's not just a regular ache.
Rabbi, I have a question.
If you're in such pain that you have to be in bed, then yes. And can't function. Not simple, no.
Rabbi.
Could be a split. Yeah, could be, yeah. The appendicitis could be the appendix burst. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Moshe.
No, that's fine. Thank you. So my question is, if somebody, for example, has a tooth infection, okay, started in Shabbos, whatever, it's horrible pain. The person that has that situation, that tooth infection, can be Mahalal Shabbos. Is he the only one to be Mahalal Shabbos, or maybe there's a doctor in the area that's a dentist that's also a Yid? Can he be Mahalal Shabbos in helping him out?
Well, whenever somebody's in danger, obviously, he's not the only one that can be Machal Shabbos. Anybody could be Machal Shabbos for him as well.
But would it be such as a sakana nefashos for him to not wait for? I mean, the pain is horrible, but is it a sakana nefashos for the person that has a toothache? That could be an infection.
Honestly, it really depends, because nowadays we know that most toothaches are not sakana nefashos. But if the doctor says it is, then it is. And halachically, if you don't know, you can suspect that it is, because the halacha says that any internal wound, including an infection in the teeth, can be considered life-threatening. So if you suspect that it might be life-threatening, you could desecrate the Shabbos for it, yes.
Yeah, it's like when you get like I had this, like you have like a I guess when I needed a root canal, it's like you get an abscess, so it's like an infection in the tooth, and I guess that could be very dangerous to the rest of the body if it gets.
Yeah, that could actually spread to the heart.
Right.
Yeah, that could be dangerous. Like
usually episodes more critical when you're lower.
Interesting. Yeah, so it all depends on the situation, but it could be dangerous, yes.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Sure.
Situation, let's say after surgery, they know you want to be okay, can take as needed. I mean, you know you. If there's something before Shabbos that for some pain killer open island or even oatmeal or whatever, less than 160.
Actually, he's going to discuss that later.
Yeah.
No. Right, well, even pain, if it's pain that's debilitating, that is considered Choleh Sheyesh. You could take medication for that. But there is a discussion later about dissolving medicine into water before Shabbos, regular water or anything. The point is anything that it will not be clear that you're taking medication. If you do that before Shabbos, then you're allowed to, yes. I believe so. Yeah. If you dissolve it in something else, like a food or a drink before Shabbos, and then it appears that you're just eating or drinking regular, then you're allowed. That is a loophole. Not every medication can be dissolved, and like some of them might have to stay in their original form. But if they could be, then yes.
And some of the home release. So you don't want to dissolve them. You say you're taking all in one shot. You want it in your body to slowly release.
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
It's so, it's not like taking a pill and put it inside a banana.
No, I don't think so. Yeah. So it would seem, yeah. Okay. No, he's talking about dissolving it. No, not Macabo, not Macabo. Not Macabo. No, it's not about somebody else. You're taking a medication. When you mix it in, you're drinking water. Same with if you put it in the banana, you're taking medication. Not Macabo, sorry. Okay. If it's just a pain, you can't be machal, even if it's a great pain. If he's in such pain that his whole body is sickened by it, even a guy could do even a regular malach. If he's not in such pain, so then the guy could do anything that's awesome rabba. If he has a toothache, but again, there's no infection that's visible. So then, if he's so in such pain that his whole body is weakened, then you could tell a guy to do it. The guy can extract it. Even though the Jews open his mouth and help him to do that. It's somewhat, but it's also moving it. There's no problem. That sort of helping is not significant. Even if the Jew would not help him, he wouldn't stop him. He could have opened his mouth and done it on his own. So that kind of help is not significant. According to most Rishonim, will hold that Machas HaLufa is only in Rabbanan. What do I say? You could do it to a guy, even if his whole body is not weak. Which is more because every time you take out a tooth, unless you're a believer in the tooth fairy, you don't need the tooth. You just want the tooth out to help you from the infection. So that's called a Machas HaLufa, which is Rabbanan. So when the guy is removing it, it's a double the Rabbanan. And then you could do it even if it's only pain and not a pain that is so great that the whole body is weak.
Even without the timing about there?
Yeah, he says Ula Ayman. He doesn't say it's made. According to the Ayman, or to those that say, according to those that say Melacha Shein Tzarech Gufa is Midrabanan, which is most of Shah. So I guess you could say that. No. We're going to see later that you're allowed to take a cold shower, and the cold can contract the limb and it causes it to pop back into place. But you're not actually allowed to pop it into place yourself.
And that's it for kids.
For a kid, could be.
Can't pop a limb back in place?
I think it's more of a refuah. It is very painful. Yeah, it happened to me. Once I was playing hockey. Yeah. No, it was just field hockey camp. Yeah. But it popped out and it popped right back in. And after, as a kid, not a teenager. Yeah.
We're working or sports?
Ice is water. Ice is water, yeah. Because you're doing something that's not done by medication. It's a physical thing that can't be done by medication. It is a healing, but any healing that cannot be done by medication, you can do.
So any illness that
Here's the Machaber and Lamed. Misha Nishpata Perak Yoda Iragli. Misha Nishpata Perak Yoda Iragli. Lo Yishav Sheno Haber B'Tzenish Ler Fuasai. Alarech It's Kedarkin Nisrap and Nisrap. Amish Yotz that's a me Perak. It's an interesting question because L'chura, this is something you have to do physically. You can't, there's no medication for it. So why can't you do it yourself? Maybe it's boina. Maybe it's boina. Maybe it's a separate problem. Maybe it's boina, I'm thinking.
Right, massage not for Russia.
Yeah.
Massage for food now.
If you want it, just enjoy a massage.
Yeah. Not very hard, like soft tissue, not hard tissue. Like deep tissue, not deep tissue. It's interesting. I mean, he has a discussion with Mishnah if it came out of its socket and maybe it could cause permanent damage to the limb if you don't put it back. So then he says maybe you should be allowed to put it back. And that, what you said before, we can't is only if it partially came out, because then it's not going to be cause permanent damage. But he doesn't address the question about this question. Normally, anything that you need that you can't do with medication, you're allowed to do because there's no there because you can't do it with medication. I don't know how they could put back a limb with medication. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Just to figure it out. Okay, Dalit. Makashal Choleh and Tzarach Ayman. A internal wound does not have to be evaluated. Nobody knows. He doesn't know. There's no experts. You can do whatever you would normally do in the weekdays. The different foods, the different healings that are good for the sick person. This is a chiddush, my friends. Listen carefully to this. The person has a condition that is life-threatening. You can treat him the regular way you would treat him during the week. This is the first opinion of Alter Rebbe. Even if this particular treatment is not going to make or break his illness. It's not the thing that's going to help him. It's just going to alleviate some of the pain or whatever. So it's a minor aspect of his treatment, but it's not the major aspect of his treatment. No. It's one of the things that they do, but it's not the thing that heals him. No, it's a side point. Let's say he has a life-threatening situation, and there's a medication that's let's say treating that actual illness, and there's also another medication let's say it treats the pain. But if he doesn't take that medication, he'll be in pain, but it won't affect his ability to live. You know what I'm saying? So you would think maybe you shouldn't be allowed to be machal Shabbos for that. He says no, you're allowed to be. Yeah, if it's a life-threatening illness, general. Exactly. Okay, exactly. According to his opinion. Since the illness has sakana, so it's kind of the concept of kivun shehutra. Once we're desecrating the Shabbos, we're desecrating it completely. Whatever it is, it's needed.
So it's holy and quick is it if Shabbos is Huya or if Shabbos is
Hutra or the Chuya, correct? That's the simple explanation of this machlokes. That those that allow it, like this opinion, hold that it's Hutra left. that when we allow Shabbos to be desecrated for a person that's sick, we mean that it's completely mutter. It's not like it's not really the best, but we're allowed to. No, it's completely mutter. There's no issue whatsoever.
So the best is when you're allowed. You have to look when you have to find
We're gonna see that the same machlokes. We're gonna see about that.
So someone's not the one. You know he's going to be.
Yeah.
Because of this son, you even know what's it. Wow.
Even if he's not gonna recover at all himself. Not gonna say his life for good.
I'm saying you're not helping you recover. You're just helping them less pain.
more things.
You're also like, and even the culture.
Depending on the
Depending on how much
Right. I hear you.
No, meaning you know what you're doing is not going to
Save him.
all the.
Save him, yeah. כיוון שמקום אחר יש מספר. וכשיהיה במקים איזה חודש ומקום, בצע אפילו. Also, if people know that this illness is slow moving and it does not have to, Shabbos not to be desecrated, you're not allowed to be machal, be sure to know Shamak Shacholim is in the term. Choshkin Machoila, Rokem, Shnitzel, how much more so if the Choila and the experts say some necessary. Some say, Shachilu Makom Sarachilo, even a place of Chilo is necessary. Ein Machal and Hada Yisrael, and the Buddha Shesh Lochot Pashin Leaseu, Lo Yistaki. I'm in Daled and the Alter Rebbe. Some say that even a place where we need to be Machal, we're not Machal through a Jew, unless it's something that if he doesn't do that thing, he'll get in danger. Anything that if you withhold it, he's not going to be in danger. Even though it generally needs it, and during the week they would do it. You can't do it except through going. And then like a Choleh Sheyesh. Now the Alter Rebbe has a hashra, and it has to do with what you asked. What about in general? Do we look for goyim to do a malacha for a Choleh Sheyesh sakana, or do we do it ourselves? So the Gemara says that you're supposed to be machal to Gedolei Chacham, to the great sages. Show everyone that it's mutter, people should think it's also, and then if they don't find the goy, they'll want to do it themselves. It could be dangerous, exactly. However, some say that the whole thing of doing it with Gedolim and Chachamim is only if there is no goy available. But if there's a goy available, just as easily, you don't have to wait at all, then you should have a goy. Because they say Shabbos is not hurtful. It's only B'chuya, meaning to say it's still Shabbos, and it's still considered that you're being Machal Shabbos. But Hashem tells you you're allowed to be Machal Shabbos. He's allowing it. But it is Shabbos. In the sense of the sake of saving life, he's allowing for Shabbos. It's called B'chuya. We're pushing away the Isra for Shabbos. But it's not like it's not Shabbos. So we try to minimize according to that opinion as much as possible. And if a goy is mamash available, no delays or anything, then you should use a goy. And that is the minhag of Ashkenaz. That's the minhag of Ashkenaz. I don't believe Sfardim follow that. Yeah. We just look up and make sure that I'm telling you correct information.
So the goy doesn't really know what to do. He has to start teaching them.
No, it doesn't apply. Right? He has to be able to do it right away. Here it is in the Machaber, Machal and Shabbos. Al Choleh Sheyesh Sakana Mishtadlin Shaloi Lasis Aydei Ina Yehudim. Kind of an ocean. Ella Agidei Yisrael Gedolim Uvnei Das. Specifically, have adult Jewish males do it.
Not because of their care and.
Well, the reason you can't do it, the reason you can't do a non-Jew, because if you don't find a non-Jew, then you might not do it next time. Same thing with katan. The reason you can't use women is interestingly because they not having learned halacha so much, like nowadays, but they might hesitate to do Chal Shabbos. They might feel, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. I might not do it with the full reasons. The person that learns knows. It's sorry. According to this opinion, no. You have to do it yourself. According to this opinion, the Ramah. This opinion says you're not allowed to go. So you ask me this opinion says you're not allowed to look for it. You have to do it yourself. Shaloi lasses holiday. However, the Ramah says that if you could, if you could find a goy without delay, then you do it with a goy. And the same thing with a shino. The same would apply to kids. If you have kids, yeah. If they can do it 100% just as well, just as fast. So the Maisa, here's the thing. The minhag of Ashkenazim is to use a goy. So the Alter Rebbe says, if even for the actual thing, which is going to heal and you're supposed to use a goy, how much more so when it comes to the thing that is not actually healing, just making you uncomfortable. It's a side treatment. How much more so you should use a goy? You know what I'm saying? The specific case is, let's say, a pain treatment or anti-nausea treatment, like a secondary treatment for the illness, which is generally life-threatening, but this is a minor part of it. If even something that is dangerous, we try to find a guy, how much more so this? Even if it will take a little bit longer. If there is no guy at all, you can run the first opinion and do for the guy everything you need. Baal Nefesh will be strict with himself by matters of Torah law, and will try not to do for something that's not essential. Okay, we continue and we say, hey, it's not an internal law, and you don't know if it's dangerous or not. We ask an expert or the sick person. One of them says you need to desecrate. Or they say that if you don't desecrate, it might get worse. It's not dangerous now, it might get worse. And it's a matter that we could suspect that if his illness gets worse, he might become in danger. Mechalim, we desecrate. If not, we do not desecrate. Maka shalgava involved. A wound that is in the back of the hand, go back to the foot. I feel also will cause bars, even if it just came about on its own, not as a result of a metal wound. Or a person who swallowed a leech. Because it's a small worm, and it's found in water. When it comes to the flesh of a man, like sets his head down, it sucks his blood until it becomes the size of a small barrel. If a person swallows it in the water, it will suck out the stomach juices inside of it. And then his belly will swell. So it's a pretty serious situation. So too, a person who was bit by a rabid dog. The leeches? I don't know. I was looking up online, actually, to tell you the truth, before. I was looking drink bleach. Don't try that. I was looking it up online, actually. And the big experts online say that if it gets into your stomach, it's going to die from the acid in your stomach. But if it gets stuck in your throat, that's when it's dangerous. Okay. Because nobody latches on and whatever. So whoever the big maven was said that if you drink a lot of whiskey, it'll get drunk and it'll lose its grip. It's good. But anyway, otherwise they could just take that doctor or whatever medical tweezer, whatever they have. But anyway, yeah, yeah. It's a blood-sucking worm. Yeah, sure. I mean, Africa, Syria.
All of it doesn't have any water. It goes with it in certain ways. You have these black things that latch onto it. They use it to help.
Help certain wounds.
Certain wounds heal better.
Yeah, they still use them.
So there's no blood
They still use them. They used to use them a lot because they used to believe drawing out the blood was a good thing. We don't do bloodletting anymore. So bloodletting was a major reform. Now they only use it to help certain wounds heal. They still use it.
You also use maggots.
Now the maggots will eat the rotten flesh.
No, but when there's a wound that isn't healing and it's infected, they want to get rid of all that.
All right.
So they use what's up is these maggots they use.
Right.
Hospitals?
Yeah.
And then there's a very interesting refuah they have now called a fecal transplant.
Yes.
Fecal transplant. A person needs good bacteria in their digestive systems. If they don't have that good bacteria, they can get a fecal transplant. That means somebody else's stuff they transplant into their gut to give them good bacteria. It's unbelievable what they come up with. Okay. Afilu suffix in name is lav. Even if a person is not, I skipped a line. Or one of the crawling creatures that can kill, poisonous in other words. Afilu suffix name is lav, if you're not sure if poisonous or not, or you can watch is considered dangerous. Exactly. Zion. Any wound that's caused by metal. I feel about some in the next term. Not on the back of the hand. Like we said before. He doesn't differentiate. But the Ktsusa Shulchan says that it's either rusty or deep cut. Al simta, or so he says a boil at once an opening, a furuncle, unikra flunker blast, basically a boil. A very high fever. Similar, or it's not a very high fever, but it's accompanied by icy shivers. I know in Kriris, it's called Schwidrin in German. That he's having a fever accompanied with cold shivers. A regular fever that starts with him getting the chills, and then later the fever, that's not what we're talking about. Just looking up this word. To shake, to shudder. Okay, not much. Okay. Ordinary fever, he translates it as malaria. It's just regular fever, one feels cold at the start and only later runs a fever, does not involve moral danger. Misha offers a down person who experiences swelling of blood, in a way that he has a moral danger. Like they can let his blood. Even still walking about. It's the first day of the illness. If he's not in danger, he's allowed to cool off in water, which could calm down his blood pressure situation. They should near can make a limb calm therefore, because going into cold water does not look like a fool, it looks like he's just going to cool off. That's why that he's in Mikron Shabbos. Looks like you're just going to cool off and not to fix yourself. A person who has a discomfort in his eye. the bein achas or one eye. It's with sear and has fluid. It's just with moist or tears. Achas is a result of the pain. Right? Regular tears could just be tears, but tears from the pain. It's just that more blood is trickling out. It should be rear or pus. Shemagla tumblets forming the scan. Which should give noise with my machat, or it's a piercing pain. Which would serve gadeach, or it's a burning and feverish pain. Any of these illnesses, if they're starting out, you can desecrate. At that time, he is in danger that if the eye comes out, he might die. Shemora ayin totally believe. The parasite is rooted in the heart. When he's nearly healed from all of it, he's almost healed. He's definitely a little bit of illness that is still small amount of the aspect of the ailment remains. He feels slightly feverish. So it's not even considered Choleh Sheyesh sakana, and you can only do a rabbinic level chiluch for a guy, like for example, to apply external medication. Any ailment that the doctor says dangerous. Even if it's externally on the flesh, Shabbos, you can desecrate Shabbos. One doctor says he needs to be treated. The other doctor says it is not. You do desecrate. One against one, consider doubt, and we are lenient, and we desecrate.
Why the more than that again?
Because we're going to the Torah. Torah rules.
Without doubt.
Not doubt anymore. Or Paskins.
I'm 75% sure I need a rock. I'm 25% sure.
That's not really. It's 75% sure. That's in your mind. There.
He's
He's going to discuss that. So right now. אפילו אין שם משהו מומחה לשחד, אין ברשות מעקב בכל זה. ונראה לרשות צחר. Good. If there is no expert, but there is one person who knows this illness, he's familiar with it. Whatever, a Hatzalah guy or whatever. The near leshut tzachil, and he says it needs to be treated. Dangerous. You can rely on him. Because all people are considered somewhat experts if they say they are. And in the case of a doubt on a life, we are lenient. And even if he says, I'm not sure, maybe it's dangerous, you have to know as well. That's only if he says that he actually recognizes this illness. Right? If he doesn't, then it's just not significant. So, if there is an expert, who's a real expert, versus this guy who's a self-proclaimed expert, we don't listen to this guy. The real expert says it's not important. Even if he says it for sure is, we don't listen. There's only Jewish people, Stam Goy, who's not a doctor, we don't assume that they are experts. If there is no Jew that knows or recognizes this.
I don't tell people doing myself. I mean, they're going because that person thinks that this could be fun. What if it's someone saying no fun? They're going just to find out the guy has
You mean, how do they decide if they?
They get a call. This doctor says go to the exam. They get tomorrow. They get the next day. They don't go. All shots.
You're asking if they knew beforehand or if they didn't know beforehand. That wasn't serious. What's the question? If they don't know, they have to go because it could be serious.
Then let it go. If anything, maybe you can. The guy's stomach is killing me. The guy, my son's on the floor. His stomach is killing him. You have to come around him. That's all of a sudden.
I mean, presumably, especially on Shabbos, the operator who's entering out some calls knows what he should pass on or what he shouldn't pass on. Presumably. The heter to drive back, is only if, which it may not be simple, may not be mutter, regardless of whether the guy is in danger or not. I mean, driving back has nothing to do with whether the guy is in danger or not. But the heter to drive back is if they are needed in their location because they are one of the small group of people that are available to help you. You know what I'm saying? If they're not, it's not simple to drive back.
What's the side to say they're back? The side we need two guys here on call.
I mean, there is a side to say.
Nowadays, there's people all over the place. Two people go to other side of lives there, or drive way down. And
could talk in the phone. So I don't know how close they are anymore.
No, like the far away, but only drive back. I mean, they can't walk. What's the time to say they're doing that?
I thought one of the reasons that they allowed to is that otherwise people won't go to people having problems.
There is such a thing. There is something called Nimsa Machshin Allah. It says that about Eidus and you're allowed to have people who would go to testify, but in the moon, they were allowed, they were given 2,000 amas to walk the Tchum, because otherwise, not going to come to treat them. When they would come to give the Eidus but they left their Tchum, usually when you use Tchum. You can't leave 4 amas once where you are. Outside of your 4 amas, once you left it. But they were given 2,000 amas when once they got to the Bezdin.
Once they got to
the Bezdin, to give the Eidus HaChodesh.
2,000 back?
No, just 2,000.
And does that work for $2,000?
No, not if you left your Tchum. If you left your Tchum, you only have 4 amas. You leave your Tchum. 2,000 amas that's your Tchum before Shabbos.
And they left that 2,000.
They left the city, they left the 1,000 amas, they went to a totally new
They
city.
get an injury.
So normally you don't. Normally you just get 4 amas once you leave your Tchum. They get 2,000 amas because they felt that otherwise people will not come to give Eidus HaChodesh.
Is it the right sense to walk?
That's what it's about.
All Tchum is this way they want?
It's not like this. Maybe it's not like this. It may be large.
How would the Chacham know how this?
2,000 amas is about. The 24 to 12 mil could be Mitzvahs. 12 mil could be Mitzvahs. More than 12 mil. Yeah, much more. So, that's where the concept is, but I'm not sure.
Something that even if you have to go through water to get there, go through the river or whatever it is, talk to a nurse or a medical professional. And we're allowed to also come back because we're also never going to go.
Well, those are Darabans then, but they're Hashem allowed to go back.
They're allowed to come back, otherwise they're not going.
I don't know. I don't see any discussing it here. I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah. Not possible.
If someone drops something else, now he did it. Now he's
Not possible.
in a random place at 3 o'clock in the morning or overnight. Nothing else. Consider not going to the I'm just taking it.
Not possible.
What's that? Consider.
Not possible. I don't know.
One of the original
Wes Smith?
specific things in hospital.
Wes Smith? Wes Smith?
No,
No, I'm interested in saying. Yeah. Sounds good. Sorry? I think he was in Miami Beach now. If the sick person does not want to accept the medication, he doesn't want Shabbos to be designated for him, we force him. Because this is called foolish piety. Okay, let's do one more. You give me as long, so we'll save it for next week. Yud Beis says. Sorry? Oh, sorry, tomorrow, yeah, sorry. Sorry, I forgot about that. If a sick person says, I need a certain medication, and the doctor says he doesn't need it, we listen to the choyle. Because the heart knows the bitterness of its soul. Fortunately, a friend of mine, his wife, after having her 4th child, I think it was, kept telling the doctor, she's not feeling well, not feeling well. The doctor kept on saying, yeah, it's your 4th child, and you're just weak, and you take it easy, whatever. And really, she was hemorrhaging internally, and she ended up passing away. Young woman. So sometimes the patient knows better than the doctor, something that they feel. Yeah. Exactly. However, let's say, here we're talking about a doctor says he doesn't need it. He says he doesn't need it. We listen to him. But if the doctor says he's not allowed to have it, it's dangerous, so then we listen to the doctor. Because here, when it's a question of either one is right or the other, that they can't both be right, so then we have to give preference to the doctor because he is the expert after all. All right, my friends, to be continued tomorrow in Yirtzeh Hashem.
Yisher koach, Rabbi.
We need actual bodies here in the room. Because we're not even close to my
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, please.
Bez Hashem, I'll come tomorrow.
Oh,
Bez Hashem. Thank you so much, Rabbi.